Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you the cheapest, easiest dupe for a Hot Pocket. It'll have all of the great hot cheesy flavor that you love. It will still be microwavable, easy on the go food, and it's way less expensive. Alright, if you're new here, hello, I'm Claire. Welcome, come on in, make yourselves comfortable. I love a good deal. My husband loves a Hot Pocket. He's definitely like a pepperoni, Hot Pocket kind of guy. He'll have one as a late night snack. He'll take one in his lunch. He's all about the Hot Pockets. Now, generally speaking, Hot Pockets are not that expensive. I did a price, a sort of comparison of them, and the average price for a box of Hot Pockets is $2.59 for a 2-pack, so they're about $1.30 a piece. It's not a super expensive food to begin with. However, I think we can do better. All right, you guys, so basically a Hot Pocket is a portable frozen calzone, if we're being honest here. So we're going to start with a classic pizza dough. I am using a recipe from the Food Network. This is a Bobby Flay recipe. It is my favorite pizza dough because it's so simple and easy. This is the dough that I always use whenever we make homemade pizza. I will leave a link to the specific recipe down below, but you can also watch me make it here. We're starting out with our flour. We need 3.5 cups of flour. The flour at Aldi was 5 pounds for $1.15. And because we're only using 3.5 cups, that comes out to 21 cents worth of flour, so a pretty good deal. This is all-purpose flour, but you could also use bread flour. It's just a little more expensive. Next, we've got our sugar. For a 4-pound bag of sugar, it was $1.98. We are only using 1 little teaspoon, and it was less than a penny. Now we've got our yeast. We're using 1 packet of yeast. This 3-pack cost 89 cents, so I only paid 30 cents for the yeast. Now we have some salt. We need 2 teaspoons of salt, and this container was 55 cents, so the salt was also less than a penny. These are really affordable ingredients. Now I've got some water. This is 1.5 cups of water. We are going to microwave it for about 45 seconds. It should be warm enough that it feels warm to your finger, but not so hot that you feel like you're going to get burned. And I'm just adding that to my stand mixer, but you absolutely don't need a stand mixer. I just have one, so I'm going to use it. You could definitely use a spoon. It works just fine. Now we're going to add our olive oil. We need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This is Aldi's like lowest grade olive oil, so if you have some extra money to work with, you could definitely buy a fancier olive oil. But this one is only $2.49 for the whole container. We only need 2 tablespoons, which comes out to 21 cents. Now you're really just going to pay attention to your dough. If it seems too dry, add a little water. If it is really sticky and sticking to the sides of your bowl, add a little bit of flour. Now it's time to give it a knead. I'm just going to turn it out on my counter and, of course, give my son a little lesson in kneading. He really wanted to try, but, you know, you don't want to over knead it because you definitely don't want your bread to be real, like, chewy and dense. We want to keep it pretty light. And now I'm simply shaping it into a ball, and we are going to let this dough rise. I've used a little bit of olive oil in my bowl, but you could use cooking spray or a cheaper oil that you have laying around. You don't have to use your olive oil. And I am going to cover and let it sit in a warm place for an hour. Now, it's not that warm in my house. However, my favorite place to let dough rise is in my oven with the oven light on. I don't have the oven on, just the light, and it's the perfect place to prove dough. You'll know it's done when it's doubled in size and you poke it and the dough doesn't bounce back. So now I'm just going to turn it out, poke it a little bit, get some of the air out. Oh, look at those fingers. He wanted in there so bad. I'm also going to cut it in half. I am using a scale because I want it to be precise, but you don't have to. And now I'm just covering it and letting it rest for 10 minutes. On to our filling. We are doing a classic pepperoni pizza, so we need mozzarella cheese. This whole bag was $2.59.
We are using 10 of the 16 servings, so $1.60 for the cheese. I've opted for a marinara sauce. You could use a can of tomato sauce. It's a little bit cheaper, but I thought that the 99 cents for the marinara was worth it, and we're only going to use half of that jar. I've also opted for turkey pepperoni. My husband told me turkey pepperoni is a better idea because it will be less greasy, and I thought that was a good idea just because I don't want them to be real leaky and have a lot of grease inside of them. So I went with the turkey pepperoni, and that was only $2.19, and we are going to use that whole thing. Now I am breaking my dough into, each of the balls is going to be broken into 5 mini balls. We are going to make 10 all together. And I did use my scale again. And honestly, I didn't put a whole lot of effort in trying to make them look exactly like Hot Pockets. I just made them look like a calzone. I kind of let the dough do what it wanted to do. I made them a bit rustic looking, just because I thought it would look nice and look a little bit more homemade. But if you want them to be perfect rectangles, I guess you could do that. I'm using 2 tablespoons of my sauce. I am also using 1/4 of a cup of our mozzarella cheese, and I'm also using 8 slices of that turkey pepperoni. You could add some spices in here if you wanted to, but I picked that marinara because it was full of spices, and that way I didn't have to add anything else, and that of course makes it a little bit easier. Now I just folded it over and I'm crimping the edges. There is no rhyme or reason to this. I am not a professional calzone maker. I'm just a lady who likes Hot Pockets. So now I have them. I tried to kind of experiment with different kind of shapes, but I found that the traditional sort of calzone style worked the best. Now I'm poking it with a fork so we don't get any giant bubbles. This part is totally optional, but you know a Hot Pocket has those little spices on the outside, and I really wanted to replicate that. So I'm just brushing a little bit of olive oil on the tops of these, and the seasonings I have chosen today are garlic powder and parsley, but throw whatever you got on there. I think like a Cajun one would be good. You could throw a little bit of like curry on there. You know, I get down on that. Depending on what you've decided to put inside your pocket will affect kind of what you choose to go on the outside. But these are some classic Italian flavors. And now I'm throwing them in a 425-degree oven for 15 minutes. That is all it takes. And when they came out, they smelled so good. They did smell just like a Hot Pocket. I could not believe it. And now I've let them totally cool, and now I'm going to make them portable and easy to grab on the go. So I'm just going to wrap them in a little bit of foil, and these are going to be perfect for my husband to take either in his lunch or to have as like a late night snack. I swear, the guy loves a Hot Pocket, okay? And now he has these lovely homemade ones to dip into anytime he pleases. And yeah, I think they're probably not going to last that long, but I think in a deep freezer they could last a pretty long time. So you could meal prep more than 10 of these if you wanted to and just have a whole ton in your freezer. And you guys, they were so good. They smelled so yummy.
All right, is it as good as a Hot Pocket?
It's way better than a Hot Pocket.
Really?
Similar flavor, but like it's so much better.
Oh, good. So you wouldn't mind taking these instead of Hot Pockets?
No.
Well, good. Because there's 9 more. What do you think, though? Is it yummy?
Yeah, but also hot.
It tastes just like one. It tastes just like a Hot Pocket. I know you've never had a Hot Pocket, so you can't tell, but it does. All right, so if you've been paying attention to all the dollars and all the cents, you'll know that for this entire recipe, I only spent $5.01, and that is to make 10 of these little calzones. So that comes out to like a little over 50 cents per pocket. So I think that is an amazing deal. We definitely cut down that already cheap price if you were to just buy a regular Hot Pocket for $1.30. I think that 50 cents is an amazing deal. I also think that you could be really versatile with these and really, you know, create what you kind of like on the inside. I also think that if you wanted to do this as like a family meal, if you've got a big family, $5 to feed all the kids is a really good deal too. Everyone could make their own calzone because that's a lot. 10 of them is a lot. So I think that that is just like a great recipe in general, even if you're not the type to throw things in the freezer and then take them with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely did, my husband definitely did, and even Desmond did. So let me know what you think down below, and of course come on back for more, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. It's good.
Yeah.